Let's be so for real. People pleasing is a scam. You think you're being nice, but really you're just teaching people how to walk all over you. You bend over backwards, you say yes when you really mean no, and you put yourself last. Also, nobody gets mad at you. Yeah, you're tripping. But here's the real tea. The peace that you're protecting isn't even yours. It's time to enter your villain era. Not by being heartless or reckless, but by finally choosing yourself. Let's get into it. Hi, I'm Kaya, and I know exactly what it feels like to shrink yourself just to keep other people comfortable. I spent years trying to be the nice girl, the super chill girl, always agreeable, always approachable, and always putting myself and my needs on the back burner. And where did it get me? Tired, unappreciated, and quite frankly, pissed off. But here's what I realized. People pleasing isn't kindness. It's self-neglect disguised as easygoing. And the moment that you stop living for other people's approval, that's when you start actually living. Today, I'm going to show you how to break free from the people-pleasing cycle and step into your power without guilt. People-pleasing isn't just a bad habit. It's a survival mechanism. Most of us have learned from a young age that being good is being agreeable. Maybe you grew up in a home where love felt conditional. Maybe you were taught that saying no meant that you were difficult or ungrateful. Or maybe, like me, you just got so used to avoiding conflict that you started prioritizing other people's feelings over your own. But here's what they don't tell you. Every time you say yes, when you really want to say no, you're teaching people that your needs don't matter. And that's not their fault, it's on you. But the good news is that you can unlearn it. The first step to breaking free from your people-pleasing tendencies is to just simply say no. No excuses, no over-explaining, no feeling guilty, just say no. For example, instead of thinking, I'd really love to help, but I'm really busy, but I also feel bad saying no, you can just say, I'm sorry, but I can't. No explanation needed. Will people be surprised by this response? Probably. Will some of them be upset with you? Maybe. But that's the point. The people who truly respect you will adjust. The people who don't and get upset, don't worry about it. They were only benefiting from your lack of boundaries anyway. The next thing I want you to do is to stop apologizing to people for having boundaries. Every time you apologize for setting boundaries, you're basically asking permission to take care of yourself. And the truth is, you don't need permission. So next time, instead of saying, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I really need to take time for myself, you should say, I really need some time for myself. Thank you for understanding. Your needs are not an inconvenience, and you don't owe anyone an apology for taking care of yourself. Back in my 20s, I had a friend who always relied on me for emotional support. Like, constantly. Every time she had a problem, I was the first person that she would call. And it doesn't matter what I was doing, I would drop everything to be there for her. One day, she called me around midnight, crying over the same situation that we had spoken about maybe a million times. But I had work early the next day, and she knew that. I was exhausted. But instead of telling her that I couldn't talk right now and I had to prioritize the next day, I stayed on the phone and spoke for hours. And yeah, the next day I was drained. I was struggling to function and she went about her day like nothing happened. And that's when it hit me. I was prioritizing her feelings over my own well-being. And she wasn't even aware of it. She wasn't the problem. I was. I never set boundaries. I taught her that my time and energy was always available. Once I started saying no and putting myself first, I noticed something crazy. People all of a sudden started respecting my time, my energy, and my space because I started to respect it first. The people who truly valued me stayed, and we're still friends to this day. And the ones who only wanted me for what I could do for them, they disappeared. And the mad thing is that I'm obviously better for it. Being kind is great, but when kindness turns into people-pleasing, self-sacrificing, and over-explaining, it's time for a reset. Start by pausing before automatically saying yes. Give yourselves time to think. Practice small acts of selfishness. Choose what you actually want for once, even if that's just deciding where to eat. Hold your ground when you're challenged. If someone pushes back on one of your boundaries, resist the urge to give in. Another step towards breaking free from people pleasing is embracing your villain error, but without being toxic. Let's talk about your villain error. Because once you stop people pleasing, I promise you, there are going to be people who are going to brand you as selfish or difficult. And guess what? That's fine. Let them. Here's what entering your villain era really means. Protecting your energy like it's gold, letting go of friendships and relationships that rely on your self-sacrificing, saying no without losing any sleep over it, and refusing to be guilt-tripped or manipulated. Yeah, to them, you'll be the villain, but to you, you'll finally be the main character. But let's be clear, stepping into your power doesn't mean that you should start being reckless or rude. Boundaries don't require you to be mean or harsh. They just require you to be firm. Communicating effectively is key. You don't owe people mad long explanations about why you can or can't do things, but you do owe yourself the clarity. A simple, no, I can't do that today, or that doesn't really work for me is enough. The goal isn't to burn bridges. It's to stop setting yourself on fire to keep other people warm. Not everyone is going to be happy about the new you. Some people will try to guilt trip you. Others will test your boundaries to see if you'll fold. But I'm here to tell you that you need to hold your ground. When they start to say, wow, you've changed, you can say, yeah, I have. If they try to make you feel bad for your boundaries, you can say, I get that this might feel a little bit different to what you're used to, but I'm prioritizing myself right now. And I hope that you can respect that. So here's a reminder. You don't owe anyone a version of yourself that puts them in front of you at your own expense. Prioritizing yourself isn't selfish, it's necessary. Start by saying no without over-explaining. Stop apologizing for setting boundaries. Detox yourself from excessive nice girl antics. Embrace being the villain because prioritizing yourself shouldn't make you feel guilty. And handle pushback with confidence. If this video hit home for you, let me know in the comments. And if you're ready to step into your power, hit that like button and subscribe because trust me, it really helps me out, guys, because I really want to grow this community. So I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.